Welcome to this edition of the Business Video Executive Briefing Series on TMCnet. I'm your host, Steve Onderhaar. This time we take the business video cameras to the offices of Ignite Technologies to talk with the company's President and Chief Executive Officer, Jim Janicki. Jim tells us a little bit about the company and what role he sees business video technology playing in enhancing enterprise communications over time.
And Ignite, what we're doing is content delivery specifically focused on enterprises. So we're not focused on the consumer space, we're focused specifically on enterprises.
So how do companies really implement business video to generate day-to-day value in their communications efforts?
Well, I think it happens in a lot of ways. A lot of people use it for corporate communications, so CEOs, marketing people, HR, whatever you want to get out, a message that you want to deliver to your enterprise. The other way we see a lot of people using it is for training. So a lot of training type video gets done, sent out. For example, we have customers that do over 300 videos a year and have to get it out to a workforce of over 300,000 people.
Now, how do companies go about measuring the return on investment that they generate from the implementation of the technology?
Well, I think the biggest way they do it is you have to have a delivery technique that allows you to report back, right? So what we're able to do at Ignite is actually not only deliver the content, but we know we targeted it to the person, we know it got delivered, and we know they watched it. So a lot of our customers are very interested in that back-end analytics. Who got it, who watched it, and then you have the ability to put surveys on and ask questions. How did that work? How did that help you in your job? Now, the third way that we're working on now is the ability for people to just quickly do like you do on YouTube, sort of rate it, put my comments, make those available to other people that are watching the video, because what we're seeing is a little more of, I want to see what other people thought of the video, not just let the person that delivered the video see what the results were.
So we've been involved in business video for a long time. I've known you going after this industry for several years now. What are the biggest changes you've seen, say, over the past 2 to 3 years in terms of making video a viable reality in the enterprise?
Well, I think a lot of things have happened in the 5 years you and I have been talking. One, we're seeing much more video in the enterprise than we were 4 or 5 years ago. It was sort of a new game before, and it was much more professionally done, and we're going to distribute 4, 5, 6 videos a year. What we're seeing now is much more use of video for a lot of different subjects, and a lot less focus on sort of professional editing. Now, the high-end videos that CEOs are doing or training are still very high-end, but we're getting much more down in the organization use of video. So, live streaming events like department meetings and corporate events and things that are not done in a professional studio. So what that's really doing for us is creating a lot more volume of video.
So when you have a chance to talk with customers, so this is going to be our last question, you have a chance to talk with customers and try to convey the value of online video as a business communications tool. What are the themes you try to emphasize when you talk about the role that business video can play?
Well, I think it's what we're talking to them about mostly when we get into that, Steve, is really how are you connecting with your workforce? When you get into a corporation that's 200,000-300,000 people, for that executive leadership team to really connect with people is difficult. Visiting those folks on a personal basis, even doing large meetings, you just spend too much of your time. What we're seeing is a lot of our customers are really getting the value of getting messages from senior leadership out to all the folks on a much more regular basis. And video is much more personal than the written message. So sending an email saying, hey, we had a good year, has nowhere near the impact that some person on a video saying it is going to ever have.
Our thanks goes out to Jim Janicki for sharing some of his insight on the business video evolution in the enterprise market space. And our thanks goes to you for joining us for this edition of the Executive Briefing Series. Be sure to join us again when we'll have more insight from thought leaders in the business video space here on TMCnet. I'm Steve Onderhaar. Thanks for your time.